It's now time for the morning show on XL7-TV.
Welcome to the morning show. Good morning, everybody. This is David Stroud. With me, Scooter Scott Kellys.
Whoop, whoop. How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing real good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. You have a good evening?
Yeah, I did a little golfing yesterday.
Did you?
That was horrible. It seems like every time I play, I get worse.
I'm an excellent. I can do one thing really well on the golf course.
What's that?
Drive the beer cart. As long as they're not wanting to make profit, we're good.
We're good.
We're good.
Drive the beer cart and make no money.
I got asked to drive the beer cart on a thing that they were doing one time, and well, that was the last time I was asked to drive the bear cart.
Well, it's because you came back with no beer and no money?
Yeah, I may have drunk the profits.
That's dangerous. You're not supposed to drink the profits.
It was a lot of fun, though. I had a great time. I mean, it was a lot of fun.
Right? Oh, I enjoy doing it. I just, for some reason, kept slicing to the right. I don't know why.
Just one of them days.
I think they twisted my hand. Standing wrong. I'm serious. One time, it finally went to the left, and that was it's because I turned my body so far to the left, I think.
Buddy of mine lives in Memphis, bought a beautiful home right on the golf course. It's right on one of the main fairways. And I was going there like every other month to change a window.
Oh, yeah.
And the way that the rules are written in there, it's up to the homeowner, not the person that hit your window.
Exactly.
And so
you take the risk.
Yeah, you're taking the risk by buying in that area. And so I finally told him, I said, listen, we've got to put some money in and get some glass covers that are made for. And they make these covers that you can put over the windows, and you can't see it. They're completely clear, but they'll absorb the ball before it hits the glass.
So they move?
It's slightly flexible.
Slightly flexible, yeah.
And you'll see it when somebody hits it. It'll leave a mark in it, and then it'll slowly go back away to clear.
Very nice.
So we put those on. He never had a problem since, and then he moved.
That's good.
So I'm not going there helping him change out windows anymore.
I know, right?
That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Now, if you were making a little money, it's just like, you
don't
need
no.
No,
family, you can't do that.
No, well,
some
if
of
you can't make money on family, who can you make money on? No.
Well, let me tell you. No.
Well, good morning, everybody. We'd like to start the show off with Roller Funeral Home with all our respect. They have 29 in the state, one in Memphis, Tennessee. We sure do appreciate them in our time of need when we lose a loved one. It's a tough situation to be in. With that, let's pause for the morning prayer. Dear Lord, please watch over our nation, watch over our children, our first responders, and our military. Please touch those that are sick on the shoulder. Let them know that you're there and you're fighting right there with them. Please watch over our homeless that they feel like they have nowhere to go, but there are people out there that will help them. Please bring them together. And this I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Roller Funeral Home, with all our respect. You can give them a call at 870-425-2161 and talk about pre-need service. It's always good to have a plan in place for when the unexpected happens. That way your family is taken care of. And they don't have anything other than to think about than to celebrate your life, to grieve, but also it's a celebration of your life.
It is.
You know?
It is. It's still a tough time, and you don't want them to have to deal with all the plans.
No. And Roller Funeral Home will take care of all of that for you. They have the utmost professionals for that situation, and we sure do appreciate them. Give them a call, 870-425-2161. Let's take a little pause for Bob and Linda Zdora of the Z-Team.
Well, folks, have you been trout fishing before?
Not since I was a little kid.
You'll do fine.
Hey, what are you doing?
Aren't you coming along?
See you downriver.
How do you start this motor? I've never been in a boat before.
See you downriver.
Well, folks, have you sold a house before?
Yeah, about 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you'll be okay then.
You sure?
Where are you going?
See you at the closing.
Hey!
At the closing.
We should have called the Z-Team.
Welcome back to the morning show on XL7-TV. And don't be left hanging.
You're messing with my counting here.
I know. I
got one job, and that is to count down,
Five,
and then you got to mess with me.
3, too. So when he does that, I'll say 5, 4, 7.
Bob does the same thing, and I was like, I don't come where you're mowing and throw bricks at you.
Dang.
Messing with mine.
I'm not sure that's comparable. Throwing a brick at somebody as opposed to saying a different number. Wow, a brick.
Yeah, I'm vicious.
My goodness. Alrighty. Well, let's take a look at the White River, brought to you by Bob and Linda Zdora of the Z Team. It's really cool before it's turned to color when it's got the black and white for night vision.
Yeah, that's what
Oh
does
my
it.
goodness! Look at the clouds rolling.
With the
across
clouds in there,
sky.
it's kind of holding back, changing colors, not getting bright enough for the sensor to change over.
That's absolutely gorgeous. They are in Marion County, looking into Baxter County. That is beautiful, Carter, Arkansas, and the Horseshoe Bend of the White River. We bring this to you every day, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's stunning this morning. God's country never ceases to amaze.
Now, the zoom-in camera, it's already switched over to color. It's having a hard time zooming in.
It's trying. You can go to retiredarkansas.net and find these views, and you can find their listings. There we go. Look how far they'll zoom in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There you go, City Hall.
That's City Hall in Carter, Arkansas. See the flag waving there. A little bit of wind this morning. Otherwise, it was actually pretty nice when I walked out to the car.
Yeah, it was a little foggy from my house. I didn't notice it as bad today, but coming in. But at my house, it was pretty foggy.
Yeah.
I live just south of town.
The fog yesterday was in till like 11.
Yeah.
It was surprising. I hadn't gone out of the house. I had it off, went golfing. My buddy sent me a message. He says, I got to run by Walmart, and then I'll meet you at the course. I said, all right, it's going to be a beautiful day for golf. And he goes, what? With the fog where you can't see 50 feet in front of you? And I was like, what?
Which way did my ball go?
Yeah, I went and looked out the window, and I was like, oh, my gosh, it is foggy. I hadn't been outside yet, so I didn't know.
How'd you even know you sliced the ball then?
Well, by the time we started, it had cleared up. But it was late in the day that there was still fog. Surprising. Anyway.
You see the curtain in the water.
Yeah.
It's moving.
Yeah, they're doing a little generating. They got 3 going, which I'll have to repeat that again later. But but it's beautiful view. retiredarkansas.net is where you'll find this. And if you want to find a view like this, give them a call at 870-405-0793. Bob and Linda Zdora will take care of you. They are military relocation specialists. They are also licensed in Missouri, so if you find something just across the way, you can give them a call, 870-405-0793. Look at that beautiful view of the Rainbow Bridge there that crosses into Carter, Arkansas.
They got the blue lights on right now on the bridge.
It's shining bright. And that's a great river to fish. I've been on it a few times with my brother. It's amazing, the waterways that we have around here.
I used to guide on that river.
Yeah?
Yep, down closer to Calico.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Very nice.
But it's same, it's White River, but it's just further down south.
Yeah. She's trying to adjust. Look at her. That cloud cover has got it a little phased.
Yep.
It'll adjust here in a little bit. Anyway.
But it's great to go in there, watch your storms, stuff like that. You can see the lightning go across the sky.
And screenshot it.
Yeah.
Yeah. When there's a storm and the lightning does cross, like Scooter was saying, take a shot right then. Bink, be ready for it. And
in summertime, you can watch some of the baseball games going on and different things at the park. It's pretty cool.
Okay, look. That truck is there again. He's fishing.
Yeah, he's got to be.
He's got to be fishing.
Yeah.
And now,
he's got his favorite spot. So people, when you go there at this time of the morning, don't take his spot.
We're giving away his favorite spot.
There you go.
He's going to walk down. What now? Do you guys? Did you guys notice him yesterday when Bob was on?
Yeah, the pickup was there.
Yep, that's his spot. Oh, it zoomed out. So somewhere along that line, he's found a little honey hole.
Mm-hmm. He's there, I think, every morning.
Yeah.
Don't take his spot.
Don't take his spot. Now,
that's his parking spot now.
And they'll be like, we saw it on the morning show.
Should go there tomorrow and just leave a vehicle parked right there. No, that's mean.
That's not going to work.
All
right. Go to retiredarkansas.net. Find these beautiful views of the White River in Carter, Arkansas. Find their listings, the MLS listings, and a plethora of information about the Ozarks. It is a great place to live, and you'll see why when you see the information that they have listed on their website. It's wonderful. Let's take a look at the weather. What are we going to have today, Scooter?
Well, it's starting out nice, but it looks like it's going to slowly cool down during the day.
Yeah. Mountain Home is at 45, Harrison at 45, Batesville at 51, Yellville at 46, Marshall at 45, Salem at 49, Mountain View at 45, Calico Rock at 45, West Plains, Missouri at 49, Springfield at 39, Poplar Bluff at 49, and St. Louis at 46. So Springfield is the winner today. They have the lowest. I didn't do it. Here we go.
Updating, please wait.
Please hold.
At least we don't have such a big temperature swing as we did the last couple of days between
Right.
pretty close towns. Like
Yeah.
the other day, it was like a 20-degree difference between Harrison and Marshall.
Yeah, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a 9-degree difference between us and them.
Yep. Such a short distance to see
Yeah.
a big change.
Yeah. National Weather Radar, it shows some activity. Well, it looks like across Missouri. Look at that. Is that true?
That looks like snow.
That looks like snow, and it's gravitating towards us. So that's definitely the cold front that we're going to get here pretty soon. Let's see what we got.
But I
That's
don't think
10
we're
a.m.
expected to get anything but,
Oh, yeah. No accumulation, no precipitation. It's just going to go over the top of us.
yeah, it's just going to dry up.
Look at the Pacific Northwest. Man, it's coming off that ocean, Pacific Ocean, rolling into Oregon and Washington across the northern part of California. Let's go ahead and zoom into Arkansas and Missouri. Look at this. They're getting some there in the central part of Missouri.
Yep.
And northwest Arkansas. They're seeing something. Let's see. This thing's slowing down on us. All right, she's froze a little bit, but you can see there's some activity that's going to be crossing the top of us, but it's just probably going to bring a cold front and not any precipitation. You can see severe outlook, what to expect, slight risk for severe storms through last night, but through today too, into the PM hours of tonight. Risks are damaging risk damaging winds, large hail, tornadoes. So that's through the Ozarks and western Kentucky and the southeast. You can see here across Missouri, Arkansas, Tennessee, and Kentucky, and southern Illinois. National Weather Radar warnings. What's the purple? Winter weather advisory. Yeah, so that's what we'd seen. That they're probably going to get that, maybe even in the Springfield area, but it doesn't look like it's coming down to us. Dang it. Carla could use a day off. We need a little snow. Today,
There's plenty. Wait now.
and look. Yeah.
They're saying there's a chance.
Today is breezy, chance of rain, then chance of rain with snow at 40-40, high of 49. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 26. So, yes, it drops down. It brings in the cold. Friday, mostly sunny, high of 40. Friday night, mostly clear, low of 21. Saturday, sunny, high of 48. Saturday night, mostly cloudy, low of 34. Sunday, partly cloudy, high of 55. Sunday night, we got a slight chance of showers at 20%, and then a higher chance at 50% during the night. Low of 49, and then on Martin Luther King Day, on Monday, chance of showers, then slight chance.
All right,
from 50 to 20, high
I'm
of
going
65.
to back up to today because it does show a 40% chance. But guys, don't be running to the grocery store and stock up. They're
No.
saying no accumulations expected at all.
Yeah, today,
Don't
chance
get
of
excited.
rain mixing with snow in the afternoon, then gradually ending, mostly cloudy. I don't see it.
You may get
Little-
a flurry or two. and
Yeah, little or no snow accumulation.
Accumulation.
Yeah, thank you. Expected. Which means we're getting 10 inches.
Oh, Lord. Now they're going to the grocery store. Now there's not going to be milk or bread left.
Norfolk Lake water levels at 553.83. Their level is 1.83 above full pool. They're not generating any right now. Bull Shoals Lake water levels at 656.65. Level is 2.35 feet above full pool. And they're generating 3. See, I told you I was going to say it again.
There you go.
All right. That's a look at your weather, brought to you by the Z Team, Bob and Linda Zdora, experts in their field. Give them a call, 870-405-0793. Go to retiredarkansas.net. And with that, let's take a break, and we'll come back with a short community news.
It's a matter of taste, and at Brick Oven Pizza Company in Mountain Home, delicious taste is all you will find. Enjoy signature crafted pizzas and appetizers, as well as oven-baked sandwiches, quesadillas, salads, pastas, and desserts. When it comes time to relax or meet up with friends, Brick Oven Pizza has you covered. Handmade cocktails and ice-cold beer are always available at their fully stocked bar. No time to dine in? No problem. Call in your order and use Brick Oven's convenient drive-thru window for all your to-go orders. It's a matter of taste at Brick Oven Pizza Company in Mountain Home.
Have you ever?
Welcome back to the morning show on XL7-TV. Mountain Home High School Career Academy's Empty Bowls to Feed the Hungry Soup Dinner. It'll be Thursday, February 23rd, 4 to 6 p.m. It'll be at the Mountain Home. Man, that's a Mountain Home High School cafeteria. They kind of put it all.
Yeah.
Anyway, all proceeds
They
donated.
abbreviated it all.
They did. They did. All proceeds donated to the Food Bank of North Central Arkansas. $10 per ticket. Purchase includes choice of soup. First 150 attendees will be able to choose a handmade ceramic bowl to keep. It's pretty cool. Non-refundable if event is canceled due inclement weather. And I can understand that.
I get it.
This is going, it's a donation. It's
Yeah, they
going
can't
towards the
redo
food
it,
bank.
so.
Yeah. Purchase can be made from individual students, so they're out there trying to get this set up. Beth Ivins at B Ivins, IVENS, at mhbombers.com, or Christy Lawrence at C Lawrence, that's CLAWRENCE, at Mountain Home, or sorry, mhbombers.com. About to say Mountain Home. Very nice. That's,
Everything else is abbreviated.
I know, everybody else is, yeah. And we have Help Us Travel to French-speaking Quebec, Canada.
It's for the French Club.
Yeah. Mountain Home High School French Club will have a chili supper. Love chili. Love
There you
chili,
go.
especially in the winter. To raise funds for the summer 2024 trip to Quebec. That'll be Friday, February 3rd, 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. at Century 21 LeMac building. Let's see, 1024 Highway 62 East. It's $5 for a bowl of chili in a to-go container, condiments, and dessert. You can order by contacting Christy Lawrence, C. Lawrence at mhbombers.com, or purchasing a ticket from the French Club students. Please make checks payable to MHHS French Club. And thanks for your support. French Club. So, very nice. Very good. All right, it's 7:17. We're going to go ahead and take another break, and we're going to come back with Bob Zdora of the Z Team and Chris Nosari of Nosari Home Mortgage.
Be right back. Have you ever noticed every time you wash your car, you end up wetter than the actual car? Next time, run down to Car Care and let the friendly staff put a smile on your face. Car Care of Mountain Home has a variety of services to clean your vehicle's needs, inside and out. From a simple wash and shine to their outstanding detailed services. Located 1525 Highway 62 East in Mountain Home. Stop by Car Care Mountain Home today, because driving a clean car always makes you feel good.
At Connor Family Funeral Home, our goal is to provide our friends and neighbors with caring, compassionate services at an affordable price. Connor Family is a full-service funeral home that offers a wide range of services to meet your family's needs and customs. We are the first on-site crematory in the area and provide many options to memorialize your loved ones and address all the details for a more personalized service. Where compassion and affordability meet, Connor Family Funeral Home in Mountain Home.
When you think about Hospice of the Ozarks, it's our desire that you think about finding a way to live your life to the fullest while living with a serious illness. If you ever need help and support, we provide a team of healthcare professionals and volunteers that will support your physical, emotional, and spiritual aspects of life while doing the same for your family and caregivers in the comfort of your own home or wherever you call home. When you think about Hospice of the Ozarks, we hope that you grant us permission to walk on the journey with you. Your not-for-profit option since 1979.
When you're out of town, make sure your pet is with someone who will love them as much as you do. At 201 Pet Salon and Resort, your pet is cared for just as they would be at home. 201 Pet Salon and Resort is the only all-suite climate-controlled and air-filtered boarding facility in the area with private and spacious rooms to keep your pet relaxed. And with over 3/4 of an acre of fenced play area, your pet will receive the proper exercise they deserve. 201 also offers professional professional grooming services. Your best friend is in good hands at 201 Pet Salon and Resort in Mountain Home.
Are you looking for the best barbecue in 2 states?
Holy smokes!
Want the meatiest fall-off-the-bone ribs?
Holy smokes!
The most tender and delicious pulled pork?
Holy smokes!
The tastiest brisket in the Ozarks?
Holy smokes!
Holy Smokes Barbecue and Catering is the only place you need to go. Dine in, carry out, and the best food for your next catered event.
Holy smokes!
We're your mountain home for great barbecue cooking.
Holy smokes!
A higher calling for your taste buds.
Jim Brown Company keeps you cool when it's hot and warm when it's not. A trusted name in the mountain home community, Jim Brown Company provides timely heating and cooling installation and repairs. Our certified technicians incorporate new technology on every job to provide you with the most advanced services. At our metal fabrication shop, we handle projects big and small. We've created everything from commercial ducts to custom designs.
I'd recommend Jim Brown Company to my friends and neighbors. The reason being they have high-tech equipment. Their service techs are well qualified for the job that they do, and they also send me a report after all the work is done so I know exactly what my unit's doing.
By visiting our showroom, you can learn all about our heating and cooling products. We'll educate you on your options and help you decide on the right solution. For total comfort at your home or business, choose Jim Brown Company. Quality service with a family name since 1964.
Welcome back to the morning show on XL7-TV. Our guests are Bob Zdora of the Z Team, Century 21 LeMac Realty, and Chris Nosari of Nosari Home Mortgage. Both experts in their field, and we're here to discuss quite a few things. But Chris and I know each other. Our daughters went to school together, grew up together, and Bob and I know each other. But I don't think you've ever been on the show, have you, Chris?
I have not, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was waiting for my appearance fee, and it never showed up. So I decided I'd just crash the party today.
That's all right.
There you go. That works.
I'd like to start off with you telling about yourself, how long you've been in the area, family history, and how long you've been in the mortgage business.
Well, I was born and raised in Mountain Home, so I've been in the mortgage business 30 years, have had my company for 28.
Okay.
So my degree's in communications with a real estate minor, so it's been what I've done my whole life. So.
Very good. And just so everybody knows, I've had 2 loans through Chris.
Right.
My last 2 home loans, I went through Chris. He does a
I'm in the same
job.
boat, got 2 through them.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got a great team. So really, my team is phenomenal. So I may be the weak link.
and I
don't see that.
I will say this, because I had a very unique style home. It's a geodesic dome, if you remember doing that. And he actually had to fight. I think you were talking down a Little Rock and different people trying, because there's no comps.
Yeah.
So trying to do something like that, and he went well above what he needed to find a way to make it happen.
Right.
So,
yeah.
That's what we do.
Yeah, exactly.
And we've had instances where people have been online with mortgages buying, as I preach all the time, local banks, local companies, and stuff blows up like 2 weeks before closing. We're not gonna fund that one. Yeah. And they don't care. They're in Indianapolis. They don't care.
Yeah.
And get on the phone, call Chris, and say, hey, these people are in the hurt locker here, and has come through for us on numerous occasions to pull their keisters out of the fire.
Yeah.
Right.
We want to be first, but we don't mind being second and stepping in and helping out. So
yeah.
That's what we get paid to do.
So like I said, we're here to discuss buying and selling a home in today's market, home prices, loans, interest rates, and qualifying for loans. So how do you want to start off? Do you want to start off with Bob?
Well, the market, as I see things when post the crystal ball and stuff on Facebook, I think going forward, the market's going to slow down. It's down 21. It was down 22 from 21 number sales. Mm-hmm. The money was higher, but a lot of that was in the beginning of the year, and there's still a big demand. People want to come here, and I think that it's a matter of having homes to sell them But the interest rates, set up by the G. I mean, obviously, Chris and I don't set interest rates, so we're the tail end of that dog as far as getting the information to people and breaking the bad news for them. Your cost to income has changed over the past year, and that's going to affect how much people can afford. And the prices haven't really. We went up over the 2 years, over 20 and 21. There was an appreciable rise in cost of the homes, but we didn't take that Las Vegas jump or that Miami or Phoenix type jump. We kind of have a tendency to roll a little bit more. We don't do this and that. You get some markets, they're down 35%, and we didn't take that big of a rise. But people are going to have to be a little more realistic with the prices of their homes as they sell them. Mm-hmm. We're not going to go back to 21, 22 for the foreseeable future just because of the interest rates.
So I had a couple things wrote down for you, Bob. Are price reductions in reflection to rates rising so people can afford the mortgage, or due to slowing demand?
Both.
Okay.
The demand is there, but it's mostly the cost. People can't afford to buy the house. It's not the price of the house. It's the cost of the house. It's what it costs you every month to live in that house.
Yeah.
And with the interest rates, it's affected people.
Yeah.
There's no question.
And the values have increased. So are houses truly worth the increase we've seen due to the past couple of years, or was it moderate, and is a correction inevitable?
I think that the price increases, for the most part, if you're going to live in the house, which is always the case, if you're going to live in the house for 7 to 10 years, you can ride with that. It doesn't matter. You're going to be there at the end of that time frame. There were some houses that sold for way more than they probably should have. There's a few,
sure that,
but not like all the houses that sold over that time. All those people are going to take a bath. No, I don't see that at all.
Yeah.
Well, I think relatively speaking, why people are moving here is they still think we're a bargain.
Yeah.
Right. They're selling out of areas that they're getting more a house here for 60% of the money. So, and if you travel and you go to areas, and what I always do is I'm always looking at real estate when I go out of town.
Sure.
I mean, the bang for the buck in our area, even with prices rising, is still probably some of the best in the country.
Oh, without a doubt.
Especially for what we have.
Yeah.
I mean, places we travel to that we all go on vacation, people are coming here for that same thing, and we don't realize it when we're out on our boat at the lake that people love coming here just like we want to go to the beach or whatever. So, I mean, we're a bargain still.
Yeah.
So,
okay, for Chris, so late 2020 through 21, prices rose and interest rates went down. In 2022, the Fed's raised rates to curb inflation throughout the year. Do you believe rates are at an abnormal level today because of the increase compared to pre-COVID levels or any other time?
Well, I mean, I think that, historically, I opened my mortgage company in 95, rates were 8 3/4, 9%. So, but historically rates are in a really a good zone. We're just used to it being so low,
right.
But
and that's what I'd put. Are they much higher? Or are we used to the extremely low rates COVID gave us, and now anything seems high?
Boy, that's what it is. COVID gave us these extremely low rates. The Fed's raised really aggressively, but the market, I believe, is taken over from the Fed. So, today is CPI, which is a big number for the Fed determining how much they're going to raise. Consumer Price Index. Inflation, that's what they're looking at. Mm-hmm. And, they've raised constantly, but we hit a peak probably about a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago, and rates have rescinded almost a full point.
Excellent.
And the Fed's still raising, but the market's taking over, and the market is trying to see the future, that the Fed doesn't see.
Sure.
So, I think rates are really good, and that relative price to your home, if rates drop back down to 2.5%, 3%, I believe that we will see, price increases on houses exponentially go the other way higher. So the balance is almost there. Really a rate at At 4 3/4, 5%, I think is a good stable rate for buyers and home prices. And right now we're in the mid 5s to upper 5s. So, when the Fed quits raising, we're going to see a pullback, I believe, in back in that upper 4 level, and that's going to be a great overall stable real estate market. So,
well, and you'd said that when you started back in '95, it was in the 8-9%, and I wanted to look to see what the highest ever was. In October 1981, was 16.63% was the annual average.
Right.
I think got as high as a little over 18%.
Right.
And people were still buying.
Yeah.
But there's a big difference between what they were paying for a house then compared to what they're paying now, and that's part of the that equation as well. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's 7:30. We're going to go ahead and take a break, and we'll come back with more from Bob Zdora and Chris Nosari.
Diatley Dental Care is a family-owned dental practice. Doctors Irvin and Christina Diatley grew up in the Twin Lakes area and are proud to serve the community. With modern treatment methods and state-of-the-art technology, they are dedicated to providing exemplary care to patients of all ages. Our compassionate team consistently receives training above and beyond the standard of care.
We're changing the way you see dentistry.
Come be a part of our dental family.
Overhead Door, a garage door company that has been with your family from the beginning, through all the ups and downs of life. From the small repairs to making your vision a reality. Overhead Door, your trusted garage door expert since 1921. Be sure you're getting the genuine, the original overhead door service.
Call Overhead Door Company of North Arkansas today in Mountain Home. Scrap Daddy's Metals is a full-service scrap recycling center accepting your scrap metals for recycling, paying you top dollar for all of your recyclable metals. They even buy cars and catalytic converters. Give them a call today at 870-424-6120 or visit them at 2821 Highway 5 North in Mountain Home. At Letty's Mexican Restaurant, we are here to keep you safe during these difficult times, as well as serve you the best Mexican food in the area. That's why we've installed a convenient pickup window for all your to-go and pickup orders, as well as a covered outdoor seating area. Give us a call at 870-435-2532 to order your next meal. And don't forget, Letty's also provides catering for small parties or big events. Experience the best in Mexican cuisine. Letty's in Gassville. Close to Lake Norfolk and a short journey to Jordan County Line Liquor is your destination for all your refreshment needs. They offer the widest variety of all your wines, beers, and liquors with the cleanest atmosphere and the largest selection in the area. Not sure what to get? Ask Jordan County Line Liquor's friendly and knowledgeable staff for an expert recommendation you can't go wrong with. Also, don't forget about the Smoker's Den for all your smoking and accessory needs. That's Jordan County Line Liquor, close to Lake Norfolk, located on Highway 177 in Jordan, Arkansas.
Well, folks.
What? Welcome back to the morning show on XL7-TV. We have experts in their fields, Bob Zdora of the Z Team, Century 21 LeMac Realty, and Chris Nosari Home Mortgage. Like I said, I've had 2 loans through him. He does a great job. His team is great. I guess one of these times that I buy a house, I'll have to go through the Z Team, right?
There you go.
That'd be really good.
That'd be really good.
You got both of them right here. That's all you need right there.
Take care of whatever you need.
That's exactly right. So, well, it's been quite a few years, 2 or 3 years. A lot of people have been out trying to buy a home, and it's been difficult for them. We have some questions here if you guys wanted to go over. We'll start with Chris.
We can chat. We can...
Yeah.
Whatever.
Let's try these. Let's see how this works out. For Chris Chris, do you see interest rates dropping soon, and if so, when? Or should we keep renting for another year? Rates are so high.
Right.
It's hard to say that rates are so high. It's not that. But do you see that happening in the foreseeable future?
No, I mean, rates aren't as high as they've been in the last 12 months. I mean, we've had rates pull back now about a point, so we're seeing a lot of stuff in the upper 5s, lower 6s, where it already went over 7. As far as renting, rents are going up too. So I mean, it's not any cheaper to rent. I mean, really, if you want to control your destiny, you want to own your home.
Yeah.
Right? You don't want to have a landlord coming in at renewal. I'm a landlord. I own rental properties, coming in and saying, hey, your rent was $1,000, now it's $1,500. If you don't like it, hit the road.
Right.
We don't ever do that. But, I mean, it's happened a bunch.
But I've had people
it's
tell me
happened a
that
ton. I mean, I've had people come in and they've just exponentially raised their rent, and there's nothing to rent. So, it's still a great time to buy the right house. I mean, again, it's building equity. There's been maybe a little retraction or leveling out of markets, but I mean, to build wealth, real estate's one of the best asset classes to own. Yeah. And you got to have shelter.
And you're in it. That's right.
Yeah.
You can live in your investment.
That's right. Absolutely.
Better than living in your car.
Like you're saying, the prices are starting to retract, but my house is still worth more than when I bought it 3 years ago.
Well, of course,
I mean,
it is.
quite
Everyone's
a bit more. But that's you're saying building equity in the house. That's why you buy a home. Some people would say, "Well, I've got to fix everything in it." Well, that's a part of the deal. But what also is a part of it is that it's going to go up in value.
Sure.
Houses typically don't go down in value. Maybe with the exception of 2008 crash, but I mean that's you
and that was because they had never had any equity in those houses anyway.
True.
The people that lost their houses,
they were doing adjustable rate mortgages.
They were doing right, and then when the rate actually kicked in, not just the interest rate, that's when we would see them. They'd say that was the worst thing you could hear when you went to a listing appointment was I gotta get, and because they had taken big equity loans out, or had never made any real payments on the house.
Yeah.
They were just paying the interest. It was like rent. That was the problem then. I mean, I don't see that being an issue this time at all.
We haven't had the mortgage crisis that we had in the 2008-09 fallout.
No.
I mean, there are repossessions coming down the road, and but those are out of the norm, meaning that you always have foreclosures.
Sure.
People always quit paying the mortgage, on a relative scale. But a lot of the very aggressive lending that was done then on pay option arms and stuff that really caused that crisis hasn't been a program that's even been offered. So we're going to have foreclosures, but the market's great. And the end game for all of us is, you build equity and you say, well, I can't really tap that because I have to have a place to live. But what happens, and we see that all the time with people moving here, at some juncture you get to a point in your life that sometimes it's time to consolidate and sell. You're buying something smaller and you build all that equity up and you go buy a house for cash and you put $400,000 in the bank because you built that equity in your home. So I think that just is, for a lot of people, that's a big part of what can be their retirement. So
and I can understand the question they're asking, because if you're not in that business, you're looking at maybe buying a home or whatever, and you saw all these fluctuations that just happened through COVID and now the interest rates changing. People are a little confused of what to do. Is now the good time, or like he was asking, should I rent a little longer and wait for things to level out? I can understand the concern people are having. Not sure what tomorrow's going to bring.
That's the case every day.
It is.
Sure.
It really comes
the
down
rates
to it.
were falling. It was still the case. Well, wait, should I wait another week and see what it's going to be then?
Good point.
You got to live your life. Life goes on. Your people are having babies. People have injuries. People live, they die, and life goes on. Mm-hmm. And what you're doing with your real estate is about you and what's going to work for you. But you can't look, and you can't get distracted with the big national pictures, because those national numbers don't affect us at all.
No, we're in an entirely different area than Southern California or upstate New York.
I mean, when you see the national, let's say the national average home price, $460, and these some of these numbers, they raised the conforming interest rates for houses up to over $600,000. We don't have a lot. There's some here, but not a lot of those.
Yeah,
we're kind of more in neighborhood 150-ish, 175. That's kind of our bread and butter when we can hit it. Mm-hmm. Some of those houses got pushed up in price because it's supply and demand.
Right.
And that's where we're at now. We're at 234 houses on the market. That's really not very many when you consider how big of an area that, because that's just not Mountain Home. That covers from Ash Flat to southern Missouri and all the places in between. That's really not very many. That's more houses than we had a year and a half ago.
I don't follow those numbers like you do, but it always seemed to me like there was always 350 to 400 houses on the market.
Yeah.
Market.
To 600 wasn't an uncommon number.
Yeah, always in the time before. But I mean, my first time home buyers, I can't tell you in previous to COVID how many kids would come in my office and we'd talk about something, and the payment was $20. They felt like too much for them.
Yeah.
And I wasn't trying to sell them, but I would always tell them, you guys don't understand. This $20 is going to be $200 too much for you in 2 or 3 years when home prices go up and rates go up, and they didn't execute then, and now they're not buying. That
now they're
$650 house payment's now $850.
Yeah.
On the same exact house.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to make a little sacrifices if you think something's $20 too much, because everything's exponentially going to go up.
Very true.
I mean, look at the cost of eggs.
Yeah.
I
don't understand that one.
Eggs, yeah. So it's just sometimes you got to make sacrifices, to get into, that asset class and get yourself a great home.
And I think that part of that is with first-time home buyers is we bought a little Georgian, in the south side of Chicago, and it was nothing. I mean, I walked in there. It wasn't. I don't know if it was as big as all of this here. And we bought that with the idea that we would fix it up. So we knocked the wall out, and we redid the kitchen, and we put a dormer upstairs for a bedroom, and you fix it up to make it yours. Yeah. We find that a lot of the new first-time home buyers now, they're looking for granite and stainless and things like that because they see it on TV, and I can understand the mindset, but that's how you build your equity, is you physically build some of that equity. You take a house that needs some work.
Sure.
You get Dad and Uncle Fred to come by and give you a hand, and you fix things up, and that's the way you can really build equity much more rapidly. And there's kind of a disconnect there sometimes for kids getting started.
Right.
And they're all kids.
Here, let's, Chris, when it comes to trying to get a loan, this is from Charles. My credit score is low, 650. I don't consider that real low, but is there a loan I can get, or should I try to raise my score?
Well, having a higher score usually will get you a better interest rate.
Right.
On the government programs, especially if you're a first-time home buyer, I don't want to encourage people to have lower scores, but that scoring does not take you out of very many programs, meaning you can get an FHA loan, you can get a rural development loan, which is 100% financing, you can get a VA loan, and you don't suffer barely much on the interest rate, because the rate structure on lower credit score stuff, on government stuff, is not as aggressive as far as how they price that as it is a conventional loan. So with a 650 credit score, conventional loan, you get the worst rate. With a 650 credit score on a government loan, you get a really pretty great rate still.
Yeah. See, I didn't think it was bad.
No. I mean, there's always horrible. We run modules in our office when we pull people's credit.
Yeah.
It gives us, and it's called Wayfinder. We can go and print them out things that will help them raise their credit score too.
Yeah.
So gives them some direction. It's not 100% on the money, but it really has benefited a lot of our borrowers, and borrowers that come in with a 580, and we get them to 620 or 640 by them doing what we tell them to do.
Yeah,
so.
And you can do that at your office. Don't stay off the TV with the commercials.
Yeah,
the guys say, I raised my point. I raised it 20 points by picking up my phone.
Yeah, we do it in our office, and unfortunately, all the Credit Karma, Credit Wise, all your credit card apps that give you a credit score, people don't realize that the credit bureaus have multiple scores. People know the terms like Equifax or Experian. They run multiple scores, so they have multiple modules. So one Experian score may be calculated differently than the score that we use from Experian.
Right.
So those are a gauge of maybe where your credit is, but those aren't accurate. So
And part of that is you being able to tell them this bill is more important than that bill.
Absolutely. I mean, it breaks it down. We want you to pay $52 down on this credit card.
Yeah.
And that'll raise your score 10 points. I mean, that's how exact the module is.
Yeah, and that's the advice that people need.
Yeah. So, because a lot of people will tend to go out and do the exact wrong things.
Yeah.
So.
And that's part of when we talk about we want a pre-qualification letter. That's why. When they walk out of Chris's office, they know exactly
where
what
they
have
need
to
to be.
do. It's not always the case with all the banks. They'll kind of say, they'll give you, well, what you're telling me, we can say that you can afford this, but there's no paper showing that that's the actual number, that's how much you're really making or what your expenses are. Whereas when you walk out of Chris's office, you're
set.
This is where you can go.
Well, the problem with and with online lenders is you plug your information in, they'll automatically kick you out a pre-approval letter.
Right.
You're plugging your information in. I can say I make $400,000 a day, and they're going to give me a pre-approval.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then what happens, and Bob and all the realtors know, they finally get the person's information, and I said I made $5,000 a month, and I really made $1,500 a month, and the realtors have gone, showed them around, written a contract, and there never was a deal there. So we want to see information. We want to see pay stubs. We want to see stuff to
And they forget about the school loan that they had. Or
I
forgot to pay that car off 6 years ago, or when I got my tonsils out.
Just happens. So.
And those are the things that come back and bite you, and that's so important.
Yeah. It's 7:45. We're going to go ahead and take another break, and we'll be back with more from Bob Zdora and Chris Nosari.
Well, folks, have you been trout fishing before?
Not since I was a little kid.
You'll do fine.
Hey, what are you doing?
Aren't you coming along?
See you downriver.
How do you start this motor? I've never been in a boat before.
See you downriver.
Well, folks, have you sold a house before?
Yeah, about 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you'll be okay then.
You sure?
Where are you going?
See you at the closing.
Hey!
At the closing.
We should have called the Z-Team.
It's a matter of taste, and at Brick Oven Pizza Company in Mountain Home, delicious taste is all you will find. Enjoy signature crafted pizzas and appetizers, as well as oven-baked sandwiches, quesadillas, salads, pastas, and desserts. When it comes time to relax or meet up with friends, Brick Oven Pizza has you covered. Handmade cocktails and ice-cold beer are always available at their fully stocked bar. No time to dine in? No problem. Call in your order and use Brick Oven's convenient drive-thru window for all your to-go orders. It's a matter of taste at Brick Oven Pizza Company in Mountain Home.
Have you ever noticed every time you wash your car, you end up wetter than the actual car? Next time, run down to Car Care and let the friendly staff put a smile on your face. Car Care of Mountain Home has a variety of services to clean your vehicle's needs, inside and out. From a simple wash and shine to their outstanding detailed services. Located 1525 Highway 62 East in Mountain Home. Stop by Car Care Mountain Home today, because driving a clean car always makes you feel good.
Welcome back to the morning show on XL7-TV. Our guest Bob Zdora of the Z-Team and Chris Nosari of Nosari Home Mortgage are with us, and we're talking about interest rates and qualifying for loans and buying houses. And I say don't stop. You know, a year from now, there's no telling what's going to happen. And if you wait, you might miss what's going on now. It's just people come into the RV place and they have the same questions when getting recreational loans and what's going on and should they wait. And it's like, well, if you wait a year from now, things could be worse.
Yeah.
They could be worse. They could be better. We don't know. So if we can find something that fits your budget, let's just do this. Let's go for it.
Well, I think with rates retracting like they have and drop back down a point, and the Fed's still going to raise probably another point, which is not reflective of the rate that we get.
Right, that's what you used to call the prime rate.
If I had to go back over the last 6 months, with inventories almost doubling and rates restabilizing down if you got good credit or whatever, in the 5s. This is the best time there's been to buy, maybe in the last 12 months.
Yeah.
Because you've got more to look at, you've got more to choose from. You're not pressed just to buy one of the 80 houses that were on the market.
And by the same token, it's better for the sellers too. If you're thinking of coming on the market, now's a good time because there are people looking and they're going to get a better rate, making it easier for them to buy that. Buy that.
Yeah, we've been pre-approving in the last week and a half. We've been pre-approving more people than we were pre-approving between Thanksgiving and Christmas. Meaning they're out looking.
Yeah, right.
They're coming in.
Because
most people know now that you need to be pre-approved before you go look.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to ask for it. So I personally call our pre-approvals the golden ticket because we've been in the market long enough that 99.9% of all realtors know that when we pre-approve somebody, we've looked and vetted their whole situation, not just taking what they've told us. We look at pay stubs and we look at everything, and they know that loan will close.
Exactly.
If we've pre-approved them. So and
it makes a big difference, and because it makes a big difference to the seller when you go in and you can explain that to them. Well, he's got a pre-approval letter from Rocket. Doesn't mean spit.
Because they're going to ask for proof for everything.
Well, yeah, I mean, eventually it's going to catch up. And I'm not saying that everybody who goes to Rocket is a deadbeat, but I'm saying that you're looking for that. Homes right now, homes that come on the market that are properly priced and properly presented, you can do multiple. There's still some multiple offers. It's not as nutsy as it was 18 months ago, 12 months ago, but there's still some because there's people looking to buy, and that's a matter of being priced well. Sometimes you get the argument back, we didn't charge enough. No, you charged exactly right because that's why those people came. Or you sit there and you linger.
Yeah.
But as far as the money in the mortgages and things like that, people wanting to live their lives, you can make more money, but you can't make more time. Right. If you're sitting around saying, well, we should or could we or maybe we oughta. You can make more money in lifestyle changes and things that you can do, but the time you can't make back up.
That's right.
Yeah.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Yeah.
But we are still seeing for the houses that seem to be coming on the market price right. I mean, we're still seeing multiple offers in our office, and a lot of times we've got both the people trying to buy. That happens all the time.
Same people?
We don't say anything, but
No.
I've got another loan officer in the office, and I've got other offices. And Danny in my office may have one client, and I have the other client.
Yeah.
And they're both offering on the same house.
My
And of course,
goodness.
we don't ever say anything to our clients, but I'm always hoping my client gets it.
Well, yeah, of course. Well, and you touched on a lot of what the questions on here were. Some have been trying to buy for a long time. And nothing's working. They've always been outbid. Another's asking, are there still bidding wars going on? Because they stopped looking. Is it time to start again? I'd say never stop.
Yeah,
never stop.
If you're looking to buy a home, you need to be looking to buy a home. You need to keep your pre-approval fresh. If it's 6 months old, go and get it refreshed because things have changed. Between the rates. Your economy may have changed. People got a raise at the beginning of the year, and there's a lot that goes into that. But you want to have a fresh pre-approval.
Chris, how long is the pre-approval through your office?
So credit reports are good for 120 days.
Okay.
So, we tell everybody, that scope you got to close within 120 days, but we still have to update pay stubs and stuff. I mean, just because you got pre-approved, 3 months ago, we're still going to ask for the most current 30 days, make sure your income hadn't dropped or make sure you haven't, we're going to do a little soft check, make sure you haven't went and bought something new.
Well, yeah, when you got them, don't buy a car. That's the other thing. If you're looking to...
it's, we try to keep it really up to date, but the 120-day mark is a credit report mark. So we can have some people their credit scores drop pretty hard in that time period, but we can still close them on that old credit report. So, so it's a little ambiguous, of what, how long they're really good for. But 120-day mark is a credit report, which is the linchpin of something major that has to be re-pulled before you close. So.
And by the same token, because they will check that again just before closing and make sure that you didn't buy something that's going to throw your personal economy off.
Yeah.
So people go out and they'll buy furniture or buy a new car, and it just
like we're still like we've been looking for 2 months for a house, so let's just go ahead and get the car.
Yeah.
And then a week later they find the house,
Yeah.
and
So we do, all the investors, all the lenders do ACM, active credit monitoring, and it'll kick something out if somebody's got an inquiry, a new inquiry, and then we have to go validate whether a new debt was taken out or so on and so forth. We tell everybody the day after you close, do whatever you want.
Well, yeah,
whatever
right.
you want.
Exactly, because then it's somebody else's.
I mean, we're done. We've
decision.
met our requirements. You've got your loan. It's up to you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. What would be your advice though if they just closed on their home to go, 3 or 4 months, make sure that they can handle the new.
Oh, that's a good idea, right?
And
Make
then
sure-
buy
just kinda
something.
Because you're going to have. That's when you go in. You're going to change things.
Yeah, we want to do as many loans as possible, and Bob wants to sell as many houses
Sure.
as possible. And I'm not somebody's parent, but we don't want to ever set somebody up for failure.
No.
So, a lot of times, especially my first-time home buyers, I'll breach the subject. Hey, your rent's $700. This new house payment's going to be $1,000. You got $10 in your checkbook. How are you going to? I can get you the loan. Just make sure you're budgeting to make sure you can afford. What you're getting yourself into, because I don't want to see anybody have a foreclosure in 12 months. Well, no, and it happens sometimes.
In 8, 9, 10, when we were, in the doldrums,
right,
as it were, I told people, don't do this.
Yeah.
I mean, what kind of realtor am I? Don't do this.
Well,
but we didn't have anybody get repoed
Yeah.
on any of our sales during that time.
Yeah.
So I thought that was
I want it to be a great experience for
exactly
people owning a house.
exactly.
So
Yeah, and that's what
you got to look at the big picture, not that I'm going to get a check in a month when we close. I want to know what's going to 3 years, 5 years, 10 years.
Yeah.
I was in an event with the chamber the other day, and someone was in there, and a friend asked her, "Who's that guy?" "Well, that's Bob. He's our realtor."
Right.
Man, there ain't nothing better than that.
Yeah. My favorite thing about what I do is that when I see somebody that it's usually first-time home buyers. Doctors, lawyers, professionals,
Yeah,
the
they don't- it's not
$600,000 loan. I
Yeah.
love to do those, but first-time home buyers are my favorite because you see them out and they're like, "Hey,
Thank
this is
you.
Chris Nosari. He got me my house,
right.
Exactly.
and I wouldn't have been able to get it without him."
Yeah.
I mean, that's the most redeeming thing about what I do, because it is a mountain of paperwork.
Yeah. Well, and that's, I have to say, that's with how you took care of me and when I did it on my own for my first time. That's why I recommend you to anybody that asks if they're buying a house, they're looking to buy a house. Where'd you get your loan? I say Chris Nosari. My buddy that I used to work with over at Ultimate, John.
Right.
He went to you because of the recommendation, but you took care of me. I really didn't have to do anything. I had to bring you in a few things, but I can remember the mountain of stuff that sits on your desk, and that's you're doing that.
Yeah.
But that's what makes the difference between somebody that cares and somebody that just wants your money.
Well, and that's the other part of what makes great realtors too, like Bob and their team, is when they go out and go the extra step to get stuff done for their clients too. I mean, that's what it's all about. When something's needed by a lender, there's a lot of times that realtors can just call the borrower and say, "Hey, you need to go get it this inspection or take care of this." And great realtors do the same thing. They go out and line everything up to make it flow smooth.
Keep it smooth. That's right.
Seamless.
It's like the duck. You see the duck going like this across the lake, but underneath it's all
That's
crazy
right.
underneath that. That's what we
you
do.
under-
That's
you're
what we
underneath.
do. That's what we do.
You're the
And
two
they're
legs.
going, "Oh yeah, this is pretty cool. Yeah, I can buy a house." Yeah.
It's always easier for us to do more work for our clients.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's really easier. It's easier for us to spend more time on the deal. It makes it go so much better.
Yes.
I mean,
It's just
the
easy.
same thing when we deal with our realtors. We ask them for stuff, but in our office, we do so much for them because it's easier.
Yeah.
It's easier for me to order a well test instead of ask a realtor to do it.
Tell me about it.
Because I don't have to ask them if they ordered it. I cut out the middleman. Now, it puts a lot of expense on us if something goes wrong, but it's so much easier to consolidate it and
it's done.
Not get less people involved.
Right.
True.
Right.
True.
Right. So we have about a minute left, and I think the consensus is, see if you agree, 2023 is still a good year to buy a house and get a loan.
Well, I would say sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's going to continue to level out. Fed's going to raise. People shouldn't panic over that it's not what the actual interest rate is.
I like hearing that.
On our side of it. And, I think we firm up by the end of the year. Even that stops. The minute that stops, it kind of goes a little bit crazy as far as stock market maybe jumping pretty hard when the Fed quits raising. And, 2024, I say that we see first or second quarter, we see maybe a little bit of retraction on rates. So that gives you the opportunity to get in now. Prices go back up, and you have the
And you
opportunity
can refinance. And by the same token, you can refinance.
You can refi. That's what we say.
What's the magic number for how many points does it have to go for people to think about it even?
Oh, it's, I wouldn't do it for less than a point and a half, but it's also based on what kind of amortization you have. Are you in a 15-year? How much have you got really borrowed? I tell more people not to refinance than I do to tell them. And that's
great.
And it's your business.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining us. You all have a great day.